Evening everyone, hope you're all well. I'm David Herries, as you probably know already. Thanks for joining the lessons. I hope you're doing really well with the guitar playing. If you've got any comments or pointers or things you'd like to mention in relation to the previous weeks, then please do just drop them in the message. Particularly anything to do with the new note A. We talked about that last week. I'll sort of discuss that a little bit again this week. If you found it tricky or if you've got any questions about it really, please pop them in the chat. Remember, you just need to be subscribed if you do want to add a comment like that. Things we're going to look at today, we're going to go back over a couple of the exercises from last time. So we last time set a warm-up of exercise 4, so we'll start off with that. Then we're going to go over exercises 6, 7 and 8, which are the ones we did last time. And we will then do a few new bits from the book. So a couple of other bits just to be aware of. As I mentioned before, there's I think about a 15-second delay between you asking questions and me responding, or at least even seeing them. So bear that in mind. If you're on a laptop or something like that, just if you could turn off notifications, emails, that kind of thing, so we can get our sort of focus half an hour, that'd be great. Parents should be in the room for children because they hopefully can then help explain anything that I'm talking about. And other than that, we're just going to start looking at tuning. So again, I just need to adjust my camera ever so slightly. So we are going to start with the bottom E string, so I'll play it a few times, have a listen, hopefully you should be in tune. Remember, I've got my tuning video on somewhere on my YouTube channel, so have a look at that, and that'll hopefully get you in tune first. But this is what we should be sounding like. Okay, and then the A. D, okay, and G, and then B, and then E. Okay, jolly good. So I need to just adjust things a little bit as I feel like I haven't quite got the right angle. So hopefully you can see me a little bit better now, even if my head is a little bit chopped off. Okay, so as I said, last time we set a warm-up exercise of number 4, which is broken arch. I've got some music over to my right hand side, so if you see me looking over there, that's what I'm looking at. The reason to do a warm-up is really, as obvious as it sounds, really just to kind of loosen the fingers up, get you kind of back in the zone with everything, hopefully with something that you find relatively straightforward, so hence doing an older exercise. And if, throughout the lesson, if you think, oh, I know what would be a good one for a warm-up for next week, then please drop it in the chat. I haven't decided which one we're going to do yet, so we'll just pick one a bit later on. So, broken arch then, I'll count us in after 4, so just 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go. The things to be watching out for are obviously making sure we get the right notes. So in that particular one, it's just the open strings of E, B and G. We've got some crotchets, we've got some quavers, and we've got some minims. So the crotchets are the 1 beat notes, the quavers are the half a beat, so 2 usually paired together to make up 1 beat, and the minim is a 2 beat note. So let's give it a go and see how we get on. So after 4, deep breath if you need to, always good to help calm things down. So okay, here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so hopefully that went well for everybody. Good warm up, as I say. And so we are going to move on to exercise 6. We're going to have a go at that together. Obviously, the main practice from last week was exercises 6, 7 and 8. So if you found any of those difficult or any comments, please put them in the chat there. So looking at number 6, folk tale. We had a couple of new things to think about. So we have the semi-breve, which is the note that lasts for 4 beats. So we'd count that as like T 2 3 4 or just 1 2 3 4. Depends how you want to, what your preferred kind of way of counting is. And then we have our repeat mark at the end of the piece, which is the two double dots, the double dots at the end of the second line. So that means we're going to go back to the beginning and play the 2 lines again. So I'm going to count this in. So 1 2 3 4 again, and we're going to play line 1, line 2, then we go back to the beginning and play them again. So again, we're just on the notes E, B and G, so hopefully this one was all okay. But yeah, let's give it a go. So after 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the beginning, 3, 4. Okay, jolly good. So, hope that went well for everybody, and if it did, give yourselves a pat on the back again. It's always good to acknowledge the things that we achieve. So, I should have said as well, I after most of the semi-breves, I didn't count the 2, 3, 4. I was tapping my foot, but I don't know whether that would have come through or not. So, again, just let me know if you could hear that or not, or if you want me just to count the numbers, that's fine. Obviously, if you haven't got like someone keeping that beat in the background that you can hear, then it's very difficult to come in at exactly the same time. So you'd probably be more or less at the same time, which is great. But obviously, if you wanted to be really precise, then you'd need that sort of counter in the background. So anyway, let's move on. So we then looked at exercise 7. Exercise 7 has that new note A. So A is the 3rd string at the 2nd fret, and we're going to use our 2nd finger or middle finger, and that's this note here. And what we want to try and make sure we do is really try and get that finger arched like that. So we don't want to kind of be flattening down like that. We don't want to be pushing down with the pad of the finger, with the pad being kind of that section there. We want to be sort of right on the tip as we push down. And we come to this right hand side of the fret, and that will give us a nice clean sound. We'll get onto this more in shortly, probably today in fact. But when you press that A down, hopefully you can still play the B and you're not getting that kind of sound. So if you find you've got your middle finger on the A, and then you try and play the B, and you get that muted sound, it means this finger needs to come up onto the fingertip a little bit more. So I don't know if I come around that way, if you can see. So we don't want to be like that. We want to be a bit more like that. So we're kind of trying to get my other fingers out of the way, but everything's kind of back to front with the mirroring on the camera. But yeah, that kind of thing, and not that. So That's the A. The other thing I don't think I mentioned last week was about fingernails. So on your left hand, you want your fingernails to be fairly short. If you've got longer fingernails, what you'll find is as you push down on the frets, that nail is going to get in the way, and you'll probably have to almost bend the nail out of the way a little bit before you can get enough pressure through the fingertip to get the note. So ideally, left hand nails are quite short. And if you are getting into classical guitar playing, you may hear people talk about this, but on your right hand you'd have slightly longer nails because it'll give you a slightly crisper tone. We're not going to worry about that for now. You know, that's something we can get into later if people want to go down that route. So yeah, that's our note A. Thanks for the message saying you could hear the foot tapping. Just noticed that, so that's all good. Okay, so we are going to play the mill then. So we start off on the note A. We're just changing between A and G. So it's all the notes on the third string. So we've got the A there, G there. Okay, so let's give it a go. After 4, plenty of notes in terms of crotchets and minims and things to be thinking about. So good luck with it all. Remember there's the repeat as well, so we play the whole thing twice. So let's give it a go after 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, back to beginning. 2, 3, 4, and stop. Great stuff. Okay, so again, give yourselves a pat on the back if you managed it. If you found you got lost working your way through, as is always the way with this kind of thing, it's just a little bit more practice that's needed. So you know, just take your time, and you will get it. It's just time and perseverance, really. So okay, so let's move on to number 8, Storyteller. So we've got, again, just the notes G and A, but our timing's a little bit more tricky this time because we've got some quavers to be thinking about. And as you may notice in the music, and it's written above, we've got the 0, that's next to the G, that's telling us it's the open string. So it's just a little bit of extra information that just kind of hopefully helps, you know, to recognise what that note is. Then the 2 next to the A, that's telling us that we're using our middle finger, so, or second finger on the left hand. So let's give it a go. Again, we've got the repeat, so best of luck, and I'll count us in. So after 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 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 Back to the beginning. 3, 4. again, pat on the back if you worked your way through that. I may have gone a little bit fast that time, so apologies if that was a bit quick. But hopefully in the previous videos or on the backing tracks, which I've got on, well, elsewhere on my YouTube channel, they're at a pace that hopefully will be decent for you. So, okay, so underneath that, I've got this little quote here saying it's not about the notes you play, it's the notes you don't play, which might sound a bit strange, but that's a quote from Miles Davis, and it's just this idea that we don't need to be playing all the time, and it's actually really important. So leaving that space can really, it allows the rest of the music to have more impact when you do come back in. So yeah, that's just a little thing to think about there. And we are going to move on and have a look now at our first chord, which is E minor. So we're going to approach this slightly differently than compared to the notes that we're looking at. So obviously the notes we've looked at so far have been on the stave, whereas this is more kind of like, it's like a picture that we're going to look at and try and make sense of. So if you're looking in Guitar Quest 1 on page 9, you'll see at the top of the page we have that fretboard diagram. So if I just flick to that, why is that not come up? That's funny. Apologies, I'm not sure if that's coming up or not. It doesn't seem to be. I'll just try it again. So yeah, for some reason it's not coming up. But anyway, the top of page 9, we have that picture. I'll tell you what, I'll just shut the PDF and just try it again, because it would be really handy if we could see it. So apologies if you bear with me just a second. Let's try that. There we go. Okay. So it's this picture up here. I'll just change that. This picture here is what we're looking at. Now this is a standard way of writing a chord shape. So if you look at stuff online, you'll see this kind of thing crop up. And basically what we have is a picture of the top of the guitar. So if I just move across, so it's almost like you're looking at the guitar kind of, get that straight on. So it's that, and then the first 3 frets is what we can see. Now, comment that people often make is that feels a little bit kind of like upside down or on its side, and why is it that way, and that kind of thing. And it is kind of, it's a bit strange. I don't know why it's defaulted to being this way, but it has. So that's just what we get used to, unfortunately. So, so what we have then are the strings coming down the page. So this one on the left here, that's string 6. And it works its way across 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then these are our fret areas here. So this is fret 1, fret 2, and fret 3. And these dots here are telling us where we're going to put our fingers. So, and I should say the numbers inside the dots there are telling us which finger to use. So I'm going to switch back and talk you through it. So looking at that then, we have the black dot with the 2 in it, and that's going to go on the 5th string at the 2nd fret. So we know our 6th string is this one here. So we're going to ignore that. We're going to come to the 5th string, and we're going to push our middle finger down at the 2nd fret. Now you might, like normally we'd say come right up to the edge of the fret wire here. I'd suggest come back a little bit, because we've got to squeeze our 3rd finger in still. If you can hold it there, that's fine. It's brilliant if you can, but if you find it's a bit of a squeeze, just move that finger back a little bit. You may need to apply a tiny bit more pressure to get the sound, but hopefully you should be okay with it. So we've got our middle finger down, and then we're going to put our 3rd finger directly underneath it on the 4th string at the 2nd fret. So we're pushing down with 2 fingers at once. Come around that way, so you can see that there. My 1st finger is out of the way, the little finger is out of the way. I've kind of had that little finger tucked there. You don't really want to do that, to be honest. You just want to have all your fingers out in front, and I'm just kind of moving them out of the way so you can see what's going on. So yeah, just have them there, but just try not to touch any strings. So if you look back at the book, you see all the zeros at the top of the picture. They're open strings. So when we put our fingers down here, all we then do is strum every string, and we should get that sound, and that's an E minor chord. So yeah, that's what we're after. If you find you get a few scuffed notes, things that don't quite sound right, then it could be, I would say, probably one of two things. The most likely one is you're not quite up on your fingertips, you know, how we talked about for the note A earlier. So you might be a little bit kind of slanted down like that. You can see that, rather than being like that. So we want to just kind of drop those fingers, or if they are there, move them up and round a little bit. And then also the next most likely thing is you're not quite getting enough pressure through those. So try, if you're getting a few sort of dull sounding notes, try pushing a little bit harder if you can. And then just strum, I would say initially just strum each string nice and slow. Are you getting all those notes nice and clear like that? You know, again, don't worry too much if you're not, it's just something to work at. Get the fingers right up on the fingertips, get enough pressure down, and it should come good. Yeah, and then when you're confident you've got that sound, you can then just strum it a bit faster. Nice and straightforward. And this is the sort of thing, you know, if you ever go and see musicians playing, like particularly like guitarists accompanying singers, or I don't know, like it might be a group of guitarists playing, and some people are playing like chords in the background, doing this kind of thing. So they're doing the accompaniment while someone else plays something else, or the singer sings the main tune. So yeah, so that's where we're going with that. We're going to work on adding a few more chords in over the course of the next few weeks or months or whatever. So you get a selection of chords to have a go at, and then we'll start putting one after the other, and that's what's going to make things sound like a song, hopefully. So that's our E minor chords. As it suggests in the book, try strumming 4 times per bar, or although we're not playing any particular song, just try, once you've got that sound, try and get it nice and steady. That's the kind of thing that we're after, really. So that's a good thing to practice. Okay, I realise we are running a little shy on time, so I'm just going to breeze through the next couple of bits. So the 4-note recap underneath is just, as it suggests, recapping the notes we've already learned. So we've got G, A, B, and E. So that's a good one, just, you know, as a reference point as much as anything, really. So, so what I'd like to do is turn the page, and we're going to have a look at exercise 9. And at the top of the page, you've got this heading Dynamics. And dynamics within the music are basically just how loud or soft you play. So if we want to play loud, we strike the strings a little bit more forcefully. If we want to go softer, we just pluck the strings with a little bit less force. There's not really a lot else to it than that. It takes a bit of practice, naturally. So we just want to, you know, try and incorporate that a little bit. And as it suggests underneath exercise 9, we do the same for exercise 10 as well, is try playing it piano, which is quiet, the first time, and then try playing it loudly, which is in musical terms is forte. So first time piano, second time forte. Whether you do that or not is not crucial, really. It's the most, I always view it like the most important thing at the early stages is to get the notes right, get the timing right. Adding in things like dynamics is really nice to do, but it's not going to seriously affect things. It's kind of like the icing on the cake kind of thing. So, but let me play to you number 9. So this is Helping Hand. So we'll start off, I'll go a little bit quieter the first time and then louder the second time. There's no quavers or anything in there, so we just got the notes G, A, B and E. So here we go, I'll count us in after 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. bit louder. Rest. 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 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to put the music up on the screen here. Press play along with the tune, and I'll just point at where we are in the music. So if you could bear with me just a second. This is number 9. Okay, so here we go. Okay, cool. So that is number 9. Right, I'd like to have a think about number 10. Now, before we do that, we've also got this section here called rest stroke and free stroke. So we'll get into this a little bit more next week because we are a little bit shy on time. But essentially, if I come around this way, if you watch my right hand here, when we pluck a string, when we do the rest stroke, we come to rest on the string kind of below it, which is actually physically above it, if that makes any sense. Remember, below is always in terms of pitch. So we pluck it and we rest on that next string, or if we're playing the B, we end up resting on the G, or if we play the G, we end up resting on the D, and that kind of thing. If you're doing free stroke, you just kind of lift up and away, and if you're doing free stroke, you have to be careful not to get that kind of sound where it's a bit sort of like a slapped kind of sound. Doesn't sound very nice, so we want to try and avoid that as best we can. So, as I say, we'll get into that more next week because it's a little bit short on time. So what I'd like to do is just play to you number 10, the Triumph. So apologies, we're just going to run over a little bit, but hopefully only got a couple of minutes. So, okay, so this is number 10. It's actually just changing between the notes G and A, and it just kind of gets progressively faster. So it's hopefully an interesting challenge for you guys. So, okay, here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Beginning, 3, 4. Okay, and I completely forgot to play it quieter the first time and louder the second time, but if you think of it, please do try that. Let me put the track on. Again, I'll just point at where we are as we go through the tune. So here we go with number 10. Okay, cool. So another couple of tunes to have a go at there. So we are going to have to finish up for this evening. If you've got any comments, please fire away now. So just to recap, now there haven't been any suggestions about anything to do as a warm-up. So what I would suggest is we go for the 4-note recap on page 9. So just practice, just playing those notes, G, A, B and E. Can you get them nice and clean? Try saying the note names out loud, try saying it backwards, try shutting the book and playing it. Can you remember what the notes are and things like that? So that's a good one to do. Obviously the main exercises we then covered today were 9 and 10. If you found any of the previous ones difficult, please go back over those and just keep practicing them until you get more comfortable with them. Obviously there's plenty of content in the videos, in the lessons themselves and the backing tracks. So I think that pretty much covers it. So yeah, remember you want to be practicing 4 or 5 times a week. I'll send the live stream lesson link around again next week. I'm generally just sending them out on Thursday mornings, so yeah, just check your emails then. And if you can make a donation, that would be amazing. I really appreciate any contributions you can make. And then next week, it looks like we have another chord to have a go at. So we'll have to think about E major, and then hopefully we'll also get onto a new note as well. So I'll flick to the other screen, but if you have any questions, please fire away. Please give the video a thumbs up and the lesson a thumbs up if you liked it. And if there are no further questions, then I will see you all next week. Okay, so best of luck with the practice. Bye-bye.